Welcome to another episode of Amsterdam Talk. Of course, you know I'm your host, Rod. This is season two, episode season two, episode three. And tonight I have Miss Chi with me. And Miss Chi is a certified matchmaker and a dating specialist who likes to bring marriage-minded singles together for the hopes of helping them find true love. She only works are entanglement free. You know that Jada Pinkett word that we went through with 2020. Entanglement free. I'm looking for something real. She works with singles nationwide. How you doing, Miss Chi?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really, really well. Thank you so much. Thank you
So,
so much.
did I get all of that right?
Yeah, you
Did
did.
I?
Everything. Everything.
So I know it got to be something else that you did.
No, I'm married, entanglement free, ready for something real, ready to be honest about who they are and what they're desiring to have in a partner. So that's it. That really is. I don't have time to play around. If you're not relationship ready,
It kicked me out.
simple as that.
Oh, I'm sorry. It kicked
Oh,
me out. It it
oh,
kicked
I can
me
still see.
out.
I can see you now though, so I can get it.
All right, because I'm trying to get this brother. Bear with me for a second, Amsterdam viewers. I'm trying to get a guy in right now. Another guy with us. UMB. Hold on. He
No
keeps
problem.
he keeps saying is not going through. Hold up. What it say?
I'm patient. I gotta be.
All right. So my link. Okay, that link seems to not be working. Okay, let's try this one more time. But in the meantime, but how you doing out there, Miss Chi?
I'm wonderful. I'm
While we
doing
trying to
really
get
well.
this brother on.
I'm doing really good. I think that um, a lot of people are coming to the realization that, it gets kind of old just to be dating around. They're looking for something real. So I'm grateful to be able to assist in any way I can. Honestly, as long as their hearts are in the right place, they can talk to me. They can talk to me. Let's have a conversation. Let's see if I can help you out. We're having some technical difficulties.
Difficulties. I'm back
But
again, but
hello,
it
everyone.
it keep telling him he can't get in. But you hold up, I
Um,
sent it to your email, right? Okay,
correct.
let me see if I send it to
Yeah.
his email. Let me see if I send it to his email.
Hey, Elle.
Sorry, y'all. We trying to get this together. We definitely gonna bring y'all excellent show. Sorry. This is my blackness always running close to the minute with it. I apologize, but we definitely gonna have a good show.
You're good. You're good.
Yeah, I see you, Mike. You talking about ain't no time for no games. Ain't no time for no game. No, it's not time for games. But until he sends me that, okay. So let's get it in this. So you are a dating coach, a dating
Some people look
specialist.
at me. Here's the thing, though, because with coaches, they're coaching you, they're guiding you. What I learned about adults is they're going to do what they want to do. You can come to me for guidance and I'll have the best advice. And sometimes you'll take it, sometimes you won't. But I'm only going to give you advice. I'm not going to coach you. I'm not going to. I'll give you advice, though. So,
Mm. Okay, so you'll give advice.
give
So
advice.
what is
Honest, raw, direct advice. Yes.
what is one of your high points in advice, that you have given before that, went through and worked?
Yeah. So a lot of people have issues with being ghosted. You know, they just demand an answer. Like, I don't understand why he's not returning my phone calls. And I've experienced that. A lot of my clients have experienced that in the past. And sometimes you have to be okay with no answer being an answer. If they're just not getting back to you, then they don't value enough to communicate with you with your time. You just move forward. But a lot of people say, I need closure. I need closure. No, you don't. The closure is no closure. That's the closure. So just move forward with your life. Life is too short to be worried about someone who's not even answering a call or a text message. Like, what? I don't understand.
So,
So,
but that's what normally happens. Like you just said, they seek closure. So why do most people seek closure?
because it hurts, right? You go from being all up under someone for 6 months, years, whatever the case, not hearing from them at all. They want to understand why. How can you do this so effortlessly? But some people are really good at just disappearing. Like, that's don't value enough to have a real conversation. You just need to move forward with your life. It's hard for people to do because they keep holding on to what was, but you need to focus on what is.
Okay, well, the focus is on what is. Okay, so that is the ghosting aspect. So I know that we said, well, not me and you, but we sat around the other day and we talked about things that go on a first date. Like what is too inquisitive and what is not too. Okay, here we go. Now we hold on. Here's my brother. Now here's my brother.
Yes, I'm here.
All right,
How do I sound?
all right.
Good.
Yes, you good. So we're gonna start this back over. I got She with me, and I got the brother Gabe from UMB. Introduce yourself, brother Gabe.
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. My name's Gabe. I am the host and creator of the Ultimate Black Man Radio podcast and YouTube channel, where I try my best to bridge the relationship gap between black men and black women and try and help them find success in their love lives. And of course, you guys can find me on Clubhouse, Twitter, Instagram, and subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Okay. All right. So we were just discussing closure, and she brought up ghosting. People
Mm-hmm.
search for closure after ghosting. How do you feel about that?
Grow up. It's not necessary. People don't owe you anything. That's the thing. Now I still hate ghosting. I think it's a very immature thing to do. And whatever you put out in the universe, you shall get back. You reap what you sow, the law of reciprocity, all that fun stuff, right? But nobody really owes you anything. And we live in this society where everyone feels they're due something. You owe me this. And it's quite frankly, everyone's not going to give you the closure you need. I have been in situations where I never got the closure I need. Now, those women usually try and double back, but at that time, the door is closed. So, what you have to usually do in a situation where you're going through that someone has ghosted you and they haven't given you proper closure is you have to find closure within yourself and find peace within yourself so you can move on from their situation.
So
Period.
what if you don't find peace? That becomes an issue. What happens with that
Well,
if you
that's
don't find
something
peace?
deeper. If somebody ghosts you and you're just so distraught that you cannot find peace, then you need to go see a therapist and talk that out with somebody because you're dealing with some abandonment issues, possibly some other mental health issues. Because again, if someone, I have enough self confidence in myself that if someone says, "Look, I don't I love you, but not enough to keep you in my life." I have enough self-confidence to know where I'm not wanted, I'm not gonna stay. And when I go find somebody else, I can go find someone else that's gonna appreciate my time and my presence, and they're not gonna take me for granted. Somebody that can ghost you and not give you closure is someone you don't want to be with anyway. That shouldn't really give you that really shouldn't give you you shouldn't not have peace because of that.
Okay. But that's one of the things that's like one of the biggest things in society. And I did a show, like I was telling
Mhm.
Sister Chi a couple weeks ago. I did a show called Serial Dating with Mary Jo Rapini from
Uh,
out of Houston, who works for Fox 5 News. She has a little segment on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and she
mhm.
talked about serial dating. And she said, the basis of it, ghosting and serial dating goes hand in hand. But true topic, what she said was, you will be ghosted, but your ghost will come back and re-haunt you 9 to 10 months later.
Mm. Mm.
Now I took that deep in my thought and said, you know what, that's right. Because if you go someone 9 to 10 months, you coming back to figure out, what's going on. And basically what she broke down with the serial dating and with ghosting is some people just are afraid to not have someone to communicate with or just to be around with for those time of need, whether it's just sex or whether
Right.
it's to go out to eat or just to have that type of human connection at times. So once your river goes dry, you figure out like, okay, let me go mess with her again or mess with
Mhm.
him again just to be connected again. So how do you feel about that when the ghost returns, as she put it?
I say charge them to the game. I'm very no holds bar. I don't know if y'all heard me on Clubhouse. I'm very no nonsense. There ain't no opening of the door again. You don't get a chance to come back into my life when you decided to walk out of it and then not tell me the reason you walked out. Because they do come back. I have a saying in my Clubhouse rooms, they always come back. This is what I tell my clients. And 9.9 times out of 10, I'm right. People always double back to what they're familiar with. A lot of people think the grass is greener on the other side, or they think there's something better out there, and they end up finding out the hard way that that's not the case. You don't let the ghost come back. When the ghost is gone, it's gone permanently.
That's
I
so.
tell my clients to block
Go
and
ahead.
delete. That's what I say. So
So, yeah, I agree with everything Gabe said. Everything Gabe said. Because my thing is, once someone shows you who they are, you know what I'm saying? You have to believe them. And that's like an old saying that's been around since the beginning of time, really. But people tend to be like, oh, well, maybe this is a sign that I'm supposed to be with them or whatever the case may be. And they make that mistake of falling into that pattern, right? But if they didn't value when you were together, then they didn't value when you were not together. Like nothing's going to change. I mean, don't get me wrong, people can change, people can get inspired, whatever the case may be. But do you really want to take that risk again, right? Especially pattern with this person. So yeah, if that door has been closed and they've proven time and time again that they're not worthy of your love or your trust, then yeah, there's no point in opening up again, even if they do come back. And sometimes they won't. I know Gay says that they always come back. Sometimes they just won't. They've moved on to the next victim or whatever the case may be. Some people really, when they're done, they're done. But for the ones that do come back, you don't owe them anything. Period. Just like they don't owe you anything when it comes to getting closure. I mean, it would feel nice to get closure because sometimes you just really want to know why. Like, how can you really just pretend like we didn't have this amazing time together, right? But some people really just happen. That's just it. You just have to accept that getting no closure is closure. So.
Okay, well, yeah, that is big. But I think, well, one of my concerns, and I think that I see that goes on a lot in the community, is the communication key. The communication lacks or it breaks down somewhere. So how, as men, black men and women, how can we fix that point?
Communicate. Open your mouth and talk about the hard things, right? Communicate what your wants, your needs, and desires are from jump. Let them know. Because what you don't want to do is start investing so much time into a person having no idea where they want this to go. Maybe you're looking for something serious and they just want casual. And then you didn't spend 3-6 months trying to figure out exactly where you think it should go when you two aren't aligned. Right. So don't waste time. You have to communicate what it is that you need and want, because you give that person the chance to decide, okay, that is in alignment with what I want for my future in terms of a relationship. Or you know what? I don't think that works for me, but I wish you the best. So communicate. Even if it's hard, just talk about it. That's my take.
yeah, opening your mouth, letting people know what your needs are, your wants are. And I mean, we grown. That's the thing. We are grown men and women. We need to be talking. You know what I'm saying? All this communication being poor, especially among black men and black women, that has got to stop. We are too old for this. We literally are. So yeah, just open your mouth and let your needs and your wants be known. And if people aren't receptive to that, then you graciously move on. Simple as that.
I
Period.
got you. But what happens when, even if you open your mouth, and I guess we would call this like running game for real, because it goes around and just say, okay, yeah, you really don't want that, but you just looking for an end game or end goal, whether it's to be to get as I guess I would say to get as much out of the person you can. So what happens when that happens? I mean, what happens then?
You leave them alone.
But you don't know that you don't really know. I mean, I understand you leave them alone, but you really don't know there's some type of game being ran.
Yeah, that's what you do in your vetting process. I actually have a guide coming out talking about vetting, and too many times, a lot of people don't know how to vet, or they choose not to. You ask questions, and if you don't have clarity on the question, you ask other probing and qualifying questions. It's really not hard to find someone running game on you. And once you find, and that's from both men and women, and when you find someone is running game on you, you do what I say, you charge them to the game, you leave that person alone. Too many times we sit up and say, well, I didn't know this and I didn't know that. We dodge so many red flags. We see red flag after red flag after red flag after red flag, and we ignore all those red flags, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll chalk it up to, well, I didn't know. Well, yeah, you did know. You just ignored the fact that you knew. So that's my whole thing about that. Like, vet these folks, ask questions, and if you don't have clarity, ask more questions. And if they get irritated or frustrated, just walk away.
Period.
That's my.
I think people need to stop staying. Like, listen, we tend to make relationships and dating a lot more difficult than it is, right? And I get it, but because not everyone's being transparent. But once something just doesn't sit right within your soul, if they're answering the questions in a way that doesn't align with what you want, leave. Just just don't waste your time. Do not waste your time. Because then you start making excuses, and then you'll blink, and it'll be a year from now. And you're like, why did I do that? Waste so much time. Questions way that doesn't.
Right.
So that's all.
So I had to switch views. But I mean, but like, so what are some of the things y'all see that's the biggest aspects and the biggest problems in the community of actually dating and this whole new, I guess, this whole new dating thing, and this they say that the pool in the 30s got pee in it. So how do we?
It's transparency and honesty. Those are the issues. So many people have trust issues because they wasted too much time on someone that wasn't being transparent, that wasn't being honest. Feel like, oh, everyone's playing games, but no one's playing games. And even if you feel like everyone is playing games, be that person that keeps it real and 100, because to attract those type of people that also want to be honest and transparent with you, right? Other people start putting their walls up and then don't let anyone in because they think, oh, you're gonna play me like so and so did. No, I mean maybe, but that's just a part of the game. That's how dating goes. But you have to keep communicating what it is that you want and be transparent, right? And hopefully you'll meet someone that can also be transparent with you. But don't, because of your trust issues, do not allow that to dictate the rest of your love life. Because, oh, your baby's mom did this, or your baby's dad did this, or your ex-husband, or your ex-wife, or your ex-boyfriend, or ex-girlfriend. That is in the past. You got to be able to move forward. And if you're not trying to move forward to something bigger and better, then you're just not ready. Get out there, because it's not sunshine and rainbows. It is hard sometimes, but not always. Not always. So
The biggest problem I see in the dating world today is people don't know how to stay in their dating lane. We have too many people trying to shoot outside of their lane. They're trying to drift outside their lane. They're trying to fight above their weight class. And when they hop in these other lanes, these other weight classes, and they get crushed, they get upset and they get mad. The dating game, the dating world has lanes. We have broke men chasing 8s, 9s, and 10s, and we have uncooperative, less than attractive women chasing traditional, high earning, high value men. This is why the world is so messed up. The dating game is so messed up. Everybody is going after people that they truly do not qualify for. That is the problem. Too many women are trying to get men they don't qualify for. This is why you see a whole lot of men, they run over to their favorite content creator. Y'all know who I'm talking about on YouTube. They run over there to his channel to get validation that they're high value men. and they're barely making $35,000 a year. How are you making barely above the poverty line, but you expect a woman to cooperate with you, submit to you, and follow your lead, and you can't rub two nickels together? That is what's going on in the dating world today. We have a lot of delusion in the dating world today. Too many women thinking they got 4, 5, 6 kids, and they gonna find some knight in shining armor to come in, scoop them away, take care of their kids, pay all their bills, and she can do whatever she wants to do. She ain't got to cooperate. She can talk back. She can be smart. Hey, she can even give her baby daddy some ass sometimes. That is what's going on in the dating world. It's too much confusion. Folks don't want to stay in their lane, and people just simply are not being honest with themselves.
Okay, so like you just said, and what you said, I totally agree. But there's another factor that comes up, what you said about paying bills. So I've seen on numerous occasions, oh, I can't deal with him if he wants to do the 50-50 split. It gotta be 100 or 0. That's it, 100 or nothing. No 50-50, no, none of that. No breaking down, no equations.
Right. If you have to qualify for that lifestyle. That's a traditional lifestyle. I talk about that a lot in my clubhouse rooms. And when you want a man to pay the cost to be the boss, you want him to basically retire you, and you put your family, you stay home, and you put the family first, meaning you cook, clean, take care of him, take care of the kids, educate the kids, all that. That comes with things you have to give up. You basically have to give up your autonomy. And a lot of times our sisters don't want to give up their autonomy. Yeah, can you can you pay my bills? Yeah, I'll pay your bills, but this man is paying all the bills, but you're not cooperating, you're not submitting, you're combative. You're not doing what he's asking you to do. So you actually have to qualify for that lifestyle. And a lot of women aren't willing to put skin in the game, do work, and actually do things to actually qualify for their lifestyle. They just feel like because a man is a man, he's supposed to do all that, and she just can do whatever she wants to do. And
Okay,
that's
what
simply
about
not the
you,
case.
Chi, on that? How you feel about that?
I mean, honestly, what I've learned is that people have different qualifications, right? There are some men that 50-50 or nothing. There's some men that are 70-30, and there's some men that want a traditional household. But what it comes down to is finding someone that you're compatible with, period. And similar to what Gabe said, there are some women that think, oh, I'm pretty, so I should be able to he should just be able to pay for everything. But that's not going to apply for every man. Like that can't be the only thing you bring to the table. There are a lot of beautiful women out there, but what else, So I think that it just comes down to really having that conversation about who you actually align with, period. Because you got to know, you got to know. And you can't always assume, oh, because this man is like this guy's going to be the same. Or because of this other one is going to think the same way. No, everyone's different. But until you open your mouth and have that conversation, you're not going to know. So that's what it comes down to. It always comes down to communication and honesty and transparency. What is it that you need in order to feel that you will want to contribute to me 100%? Like, what is it that you need from me? Have a conversation. And for the people that agree for the 50-50, then okay, we agree on 50-50. It's all right. Some people are going to agree and some people are not, but you got to that agrees with what aligns with you. That's what it comes down to. And if it doesn't work for you, then move to someone else. The vetting process, we just stated earlier, it's a vetting process. So
yeah, I get that, the vetting process, but the thing in reality, what happens is we watch these different shows, whether it's reality TV
shows. That's the thing. People get so involved in media. Fuck that.
Okay.
What you need to do is have an honest conversation with whoever you're looking to date. What do you need? If I want to be your wife, what do you need from me, King? If I want to be your wife, what do you need from me? If I want you to be my wife, what do I need to do to you, Queen? Like, what exactly do you need from me? But physically, mentally, socially, all that. Have those conversations. Have them. All this reality TV show and shit, that shit is distracting. Social media is always going to be couples goals. What are your goals with whoever you build with? That's what's most important. I hate people get so wrapped up in like what he or she are doing. That is not your life. That is not your life. Focus on you and what you got at home, or don't have at home for that matter. I have nothing else to say about that topic.
I'm just saying, but you see, that's the whole persona of it. I don't watch reality TV, so what goes on to these loving hip hop wherever in West Africa, West Alabama, whatever happens at these places. But this is what they say. They just like, these are goals. You know, the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's, the Michelle's and the Rocks, the whoever and whoever. These are the goals. But what I'm going to ask you though, Miss Chi, something that Gabe said, whereas though, you know, they want women want the traditional situation where you pay everything, but
Some of
they
them, yes.
don't. Some of them do, but it's kind of like they don't understand about the traditional wife.
Some of them don't. Yes, that's the thing. Okay, so there's always going to be women that are going to be more traditional minded, right? They feel like, oh, I was raised to believe that I need to cater to the home and have food on the table. There's other women that are like, I love to work, right? And she's going to be more dominant in nature. But it just depends on if that's a man that wants that. If that's what he gravitates towards. That's what he gravitates towards. But the disconnect is when people just assume, oh, every woman isn't bringing anything to the table, or every woman wants this traditional lifestyle. Some women don't. But until you open your mouth and have that conversation with the person you're pursuing, you're not going to know. Does that make sense? Am I wrong?
It makes a lot of sense to me. No, you're not wrong. It makes a lot of sense to me.
I don't know why
it makes a lot of sense.
People just need to communicate. That's all they need to do. It's a beautiful thing. Just open up your mouth and talk about what you need. You're talking about devil's part, because marriage should be the goal. I'm all for marriage. I know that in nowadays society, marriage is not something that everybody aspires to, but I think marriage is a beautiful thing that everyone should aspire to. That's my personal opinion. Everyone is entitled to their own. But if marriage is a goal, we're talking about till death do us part. Let's talk about how you want this household to be run, honey. Let's have that conversation. If I'm about to spend all these years with you, let's see how we align. Have conversations. I don't know, Gabe. What do you think?
I agree. I think people need to stop focusing on like labels and titles, and just focus on what will work for them. Not every woman is going to be traditional. Like there's a woman she just said, I need my autonomy. Great. Well, you can get in a modern relationship and you can split the bills with a man, and you have that partnership, and he can do what he want to do and you can do what you want to do. If that's the dynamic that works for you, let that work for you. But again, too many times we try and force our beliefs and our ideals on people. We try and force non-traditional people to be traditional, and we try to force traditional people to be non-traditional / modern. And it just does not work like this. So you have to figure out within yourself, before you get out here in these dating streets, what do you want? Right? You have to date with intention.
Period.
That's a real big thing. Black people do not date with intention. We just out here in these streets.
Some Black people don't date with intention.
Yeah, some Black people do. We just out here. This is the thing I do. I try to stay away from because this is the thing. Our marriage rate is 29%. And I'm predicting by 2030, it will be below 20%. I have not been wrong yet when it comes to this relationship stuff. I've been doing this a long time. I'm predicting the marriage rate for Black folks will be below 20%. That's because we're not intentional. We don't know what we're doing. We have to be trained on how to date. A lot of us just have not seen successful relationships, successful marriages. That's why our relationships and our marriages and our marriage rates are in the toilet compared to the other groups. So
that's what I was getting ready to say. So would you say by us growing up, we wasn't taught about marriage, as other groups are?
Yeah, we don't value marriage. Now, this gets a little murky because you can start talking about class, but I don't even want to go there. But yes, we were not. A lot of us saw our moms do it all by herself. We saw her go to work, come home, cook, clean, and do it all over. Help with homework, and then she had to do it all over again. She did it with no help. She may have gotten child support from dad. She may not have, but we saw mom do it all by herself. And so we think that we're supposed to do it all by ourselves, whether we're men or women. We can do it all by. We don't need nobody. When the fastest way to gain wealth is through what? Marriage. It's the quickest way to get wealth. Proven fact. So, just wanted to throw that out there.
Well, definitely is that. But like we talking about new age, whereas though you said nobody really like wants to date, and I'm gonna throw two spades out there because I know this is probably happening to somebody that's watching. Some women have men in their phone known as the food guy, and some men have in their phone women noted as my jump off, my nighttime thing. So how, as we as a black culture break those strands?
I got a lot to say on that. I'm gonna let Chi go. I want to hear what she got to say on that because, man,
It's just it just comes down to the individual. That's the thing. Okay, at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do. So all we can do is talk about it and set an example. That's really all we can do, because you can't tell a grown man or a grown woman anything if they don't want to change their ways. There are some people that just like, oh, I hear you. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, so let me just call my jump off real quick. That's what I'm saying. At the end of the day, people are going to do what they want to do, and being intentional and setting examples of what it should be. That's all we can do. That's all. That's really all we can do. Because there's going to be men that just feel that way. There's some men like, oh, I'm going to sell my Royal Oats until I'm like 50 years old. Oh, marriage can wait. Or I don't even want to get married. That's just how it is with some people. Women too, right? My focus is just to be on the people that are marriage-minded and entanglement-free and want something real, because I still believe in them and I'm still counting on them. I believe in them. I do. So that's my take on that. People are going to do what they want to do, but my hope is that they will see the light. Yeah, you can go ahead.
They gonna see the light.
This is the thing about the food guy. I think that used to be true back in the 90s and early 2000s. I don't think that is true today. There may be some basic chicks that do that, but for the most part, women are earning their own money, so they don't really need a guy to come bring them breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They don't need for him to buy her lobster and steak. She can buy her own lobster and steak because she's making her own money. So I think the whole food thing that's just a narrative push so these dudes can justify going Dutch on these dates.
So that's passe then.
Right. But no, I actually agree with everything she said. She basically took all my talking points on that one. So that was real good stuff. I agree with what she said there.
Okay, so this brings to a real life situation, and she's probably watching. I'm not going to say any names because you guys are the reason that we are holding this, forum tonight, this platform, because I was actually going to take tonight off, but she, talked to me and even said she posted a question to us. She's been on 15 dates and been ghosted 15 times. She wants to know what's been done wrong.
In the course of how like, is there more context?
That's the only context we got. I wish we had more. It was 15 dates, and I went on 15 dates, and I've been ghosted, not with the same person. 15 guys, and I've been ghosted 15 times.
So, honestly, Queen, what I'm doing, your selection or your vetting process is like with men that just aren't taking you seriously. 15, that's a high number. My worry is that you continue to waste your time with people that don't value yours. I suggest you take a break from dating and focus on self and figure out what it is that you're doing, that's causing you to choose to spend time interacting with these men that don't view you. I don't want to waste any time on any dates with a man that's just not from again. So that's my personal take. There's something wrong there. A lot. 15 is a lot, respectfully. So I want her to just focus on herself, because obviously they're not focused on her. So I want her to pour all that love and energy back into self. Take a break from dating.
Okay,
it's gonna start to weigh on her. It's gonna start to weigh on her and herself. She's gonna start saying, what's wrong with me? And maybe, I don't know, but it's part of her vetting process, because she's making time to go on these dates, right? And they're getting her. That's 15 people. No, she needs to take a break from it, focus on self. There may be some therapy that I would suggest too, because maybe there's a limiting belief there or something. There's some gray area in her vetting process, but I would take a break, respectfully, my love.
If
Okay.
15 guys, different guys ghosted you, it's not them. So you'd have to book a session with me. I could probably figure out why. I'll take a wild guess. There's probably some masculinity there, some things being said that are scaring these men off. But yeah, if 15 guys did the same thing, that's on you. That's not him.
Okay. Okay. So, so what I was gonna say, because I didn't want to interrupt you, Chi. What you were saying is about, you start looking at yourself. So now, what I get once you start looking at yourself after these 15 situations happen, I think you start to lower yourself, and now you just go out there and get any fucking thing now, anything that's
Mhm.
just going to show you any type of attention. As Wesley Snipes says, "And white men can't jump. The sun shines on the dog's ass someday. Anybody can hit the lottery." So I'm looking at you lower your standards, and the next person with masculinity, testosterone, a penis, balls, whatever that says hello to you, you ready to jump and do whatever. Is that a possible case?
It could be. I think she needs to get more fine tuned on her vetting process. Because I mean, that's a lot. That is a lot. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Something is wrong because she's still investing time in these gentlemen just to end up with the same outcome. So there's something missing. Something just isn't clicking. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean, if Gabe said that she can reach out to him and get more insight, I suggest reaching out to someone, but definitely take a break from dating because something isn't right. So, and yeah, it may be that she is just going for, we'll give her the attention and just saying, oh, you want to go on a date? Okay, cool, let's go. Right. Just to be ghosted again. But that's a pattern now. It's a pattern after 3, 4, 5 people, but 15, oh, they're hard.
So okay, yeah, after 3 or 5, 3, 5, 4, 15, whatever. So I've always say, like, to my lady cousin, my girl cousins, my women cousins, I say, because they're women now, and some friends or whatever. I say, you go out with the same type of dude. When is it time for change? Because the change ain't always bad. So when do you kind of change the guys that you kind of like, or to change the kind of women that you go after? Like you said earlier, Gabe, about weight classes, and as far as weight, not weight classes, the actual weight, but how much you can hold, is saying, you don't have two nickels to rub together, but you going after like the Holly Berry, Alicia Keys chicks, knowing that's out your weight class, or you a girl that with 6 kids and you want to get a guy with no children and you want to chase them, that's out your weight class. So what I'm saying is, when do you decide to just go different and say, I'm going to try that nice guy that's been looking out for you for the longest time that you done friend zone, that woman that's been looking out for the longest time and you friend zoned her? When do you decide to say, I want to make a chance? Not go with them, because I feel like once you decide to deal with them, I think you like figure like, yo, I lost all hope.
Mhm.
This is here. This is more comfortable for me.
You do that after. I mean, whenever you get tired of taking L's. I mean, when you get tired of taking L's and losing, that's when you switch up. Listen, if you've tried something 2 or 3 times, it's time for a change. What's the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So if you're
Right.
continually to date the same kind of person over and over and over again, and there has been no change, then we're starting to talk about mental issues. Okay.
Okay.
We're starting to talk about you being, there's something wrong. So if you're dating the same person over and over again and things aren't working, it's time to change. This is what I tell women: do not squander away your prime years dealing with dusties, degenerates, and losers. What ends up happening with a lot of women is they'll squander away their prime years chasing men they know they have no business chasing. And when
Mm-hmm.
they're 35, over the hill, it's the time's crunching to have children. They want the good guys or the square guys, the guys that are sitting in the friend zone that've been waiting for their chance. Now they're wanting them to step in and step up. and pick up all the pieces and clean up all the messes that they've made. And a lot of men are getting hip to that. Same for the men. Don't be sitting out here mad because when you hit 45 years old, 45 years old, and these women don't want to mess with you no more because they think you too old. When you were in your 20s and your 30s, you weren't building anything, you weren't producing anything. You was out here in the streets making babies. You got all these kids spread around the city. Now these women don't really want to give you a chance because they feel like you're a failure, and they don't really want to take a chance on you. You can't get mad at those women for making their decision. So whenever you get tired of taking L's, it's time to change. But what you have to do is you cannot wait until it's too late to try and make a change. That's the thing. Too many of us to wait until it is too late.
Got you. And before you answer that, Chi, because what you touched on something that my dad always said to me and my brothers and some of my homeboys that he's close with, you ain't tired yet. That's what his famous line is. Like, you ain't tired. So if you ain't tired, you obviously stop coming over here with this bullshit that you keep talking about because you ain't tired and ready to make a change. Okay, go ahead, Chi, because you laughed. That's my dad for you.
I mean, Gabe really hit the nail on the head, honestly. I mean, I guess forget being tired. They got to be exhausted at this point. Because I guess some people say, I'm tired. Okay, but you got to be exhausted then if that's the case. Because you tired, I'm tired, but then, I decided to get back with it because, or I took her back, she's been going through some things. Stop it. And once you're digging yourself into a hole, if you find yourself keep making excuses about them, don't complain to me about people that you're going to continue. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop.
Big facts, Chi. I like Chi. She keeping it real.
So, I love it.
I got a question in the comments, and I know what you're saying, John Huckler. So I get what you're going at, so I'm going to answer the question. So now you get these groups, like, which we're part of, this historically Black, college university singles lounge. So you get these groups, and you get these apps, whether it's POF, Facebook dating, Black single, what the hell is Black People Meet, BLK, RBL. My favorite, don't judge me, farmersonly.com. You get these types
just a little bit
and Tinder and things like that. But you get these groups where people really don't come for what the appropriate thing, what the appropriate, project is for you to meet someone, leave this app, leave this group, go dust and dawn beyond, go have some babies and get married. You come for bullshit. How do you weed those things out through people?
I don't come for bullshit on the apps now. I ask the questions and I quickly dismiss if you're not aligned with what I need, want, and desire. I don't have time. I don't want to play these games with you.
So what would be your alignment, Chief? What would be I told you we don't Amsterdam Talk. What is your alignment?
Yeah. So one of my really good colleagues, he's like my brother, his name is DM Woods, and he said like a go-to vetting question is, what are you looking for to build towards, right? And women, if you're listening to me, do not answer this question first. Do not tell him what you're looking for. Let the man answer first. Let him answer first. Because what some men will do, not all men, let me preface that, not all men, but what some men will do, like, oh, she's looking for a relationship. I'm looking for a relationship. I'm trying to build to a relationship. We're really just looking for friends or to be real about what it is that you want. But let him answer first. Let him answer first. They still can choose to lie, but if you give them a position to first, it's less of a chance of them just agreeing to agree with you, right? So figure out from jump what exactly they're looking for. And then there'll be some people like, oh, I just want a friend. I have enough friends. Facebook, I have like 3,000, 4,000 friends. What is that? Oh, we can start off as friends first and see where it goes. That means let's be cool, fuck, and maybe I decide to be with you, but probably not. That's what that means. Of course, everybody wants a friend and whoever they date. Yeah, I get that. Your goal should be a relationship. Your goal should be, okay, well, it'll be nice with someone that I can build with that leads to marriage. If that's something that you want because you're dating with intention, talking about, oh, well, I'm just trying to see where things go. Or my favorite, I'm just trying to see what's out there. What's out where? Where exactly are you? I'm confused. I know what's out there. People are out there. But what is it that you want? So yeah, I got to know that. I have to talk about children up front. I wouldn't even give you my phone number until we have that discussion about children. Like, because that's a big topic that comes up in marriage. And then like spiritual practices. I'm not going to date an atheist and I won't date a Trump supporter. That's no disrespect to anybody else. But if you don't believe in nothing and you want me to be with you, nah. Me personally, I don't date atheists or Trump supporters. I just feel like there's too much of a disconnect there. I don't knock anybody for having their own preferences. I have clients that are fine and have a variety of preferences. When it comes to me, what I'm looking for, I'm very clear. This is what I want. If you are not this, then I wish you the very best of luck in your search. That's it. And I don't want to waste this time with you. What are we talking about? I'm done speaking.
I know, because what you just said, I totally agree with you, because I was told by a good homegirl of mine was like, yo, don't answer that question, what you are looking for, because the fact is people will play that against you, even though they're not looking for the same thing you're looking for. But you just vice versa it on and said, women, ask the man first, let him go with their first. But I'm told it was like, nah, I don't answer that question, because if I answer that question, you're just going to put this facade on just to get where it is. Tell me what it is. And you know, and sometimes, and I'm gonna let Gabe speak in 2 seconds. Sometimes if you just come out the gate and just say, yo, I want to have fun, and whatever your definitions of fun mean, she may be down with that definition of fun. And there's no, you know, nobody's like hurt at the end of the day. Okay, Gabe, you got it.
Vetting. This is why I'm working on a vetting guide. I have one for women coming out in about 3 weeks. And
So
I have
what's your
one.
vetting guide?
My
What's your
vetting guide is
vetting?
basically how I teach women how to vet men. Whether they want to be traditional or modern, I tell them how to vet men. I have 30 questions to ask across 3 dates. I tell women when a man should ask for commitment, should you pay for the first date, things like that, things to look for, body language. And there's 2 ways you vet men. You vet them before the first official in-person date, meaning you vet their social media, phone conversation, text messages, and you vet in person. There are 2 different ways you vet, and I go into great detail on in both guides. I have one for women that's coming out soon, and the one for men will come out later this year. But you have to know how to vet. You have to know how to vet. A lot of people get caught up because they don't ask the pertinent questions. For instance, if you want to be a traditional wife and he says, well, I prefer my woman to work, but I'll let her make the decision. And then you get with this man, you marry him, and then he looking at you like, why not you working? Well, he told you he wanted to work, but he said I had a choice. No, he told you he wanted you to work. And too many times we don't look at what is actually being said to us, and we focus on what we want to hear.
Correct. Hey, say that again. Say that one more time for them.
We don't focus on what we need to hear. We focus on what we want to hear. We don't focus on what the person is saying. We focus on what we want to hear, what makes us feel good. The person is telling us
that's
what
between hearing and
needs to go
listening.
down, how they feel, and we just totally ignore that. We only focus on what's making us feel good, what's tickling our ears, as the Bible says, right? So that's the big thing. People have to learn how to vet. They have to learn how to vet. Somebody asks, am I an apprentice of Kevin Samuels or Derrick Jackson? Absolutely not. I've actually done content with Kevin, and a lot of the things Kevin talks about, he got from me. I don't want to get into that on this show.
Well, you spoke on that, I don't mean to cut you off, but you spoke on that earlier that said brothers with 30,000 will run to him for defense.
I did. I
read between the lines. I listened. Yeah. I heard you and I listened.
Listen, I'm not saying I don't dislike Kevin. I actually have a whole thing in my guide about women, how you vet men. Y'all watch the content creators they follow. You'll be a damn fool to be a traditional woman dating a man who follows Kevin Samuels. Okay. And I break that down in the book as to why. See, that's the thing. A lot of women think they can change men. You can't
All right.
change these men out here.
Change. A man will not change unless he wants to change.
Absolutely.
Period.
Say that
These
again.
men ain't gonna change. They want to do what they want to do, how they want to do it. And a lot of women think they got the golden coochie that's gonna make him change. No, no. So I'll leave it at that for now. I can go on and on about that, but vetting is huge. A lot of
Everything.
black folks don't know how to vet. A lot of
Hey, I
people in
definitely,
general, that goes beyond just black folks, just people in general.
I got y'all, and definitely we coming close. You wasn't here when I explained this, Gabe, but I'm hopefully this works tonight because this is my first time using this. I got a segment called "I'll Be Damned," and this is a segment that comes on towards the end of the show, which we are running time, and I want y'all to elaborate on it. I get text messages, emails from men, women all over the country explaining their stories about what happened on a date. And I just talk about I just replay the story of what they, well, not replay it, I just reread the story, what they text me and emailed me, and I let it go here on Amsterdam Talk. So hopefully y'all can see this. We get ready to go here into I'll Be Damned. And tonight's person, I believe they are from New York City. I'm just putting New York out there. They didn't say a barrel, but I just know it's New York. They said New York to me. So we're going to go with New York. Let's see if we can get it going. Let's go. Let's see if y'all can see it. Where'd it go at? Let me know if y'all can see and hear it.
I can hear it.
I don't know what time it is. It's for another edition of I'll Be Damned this week. And we taking this all the way to a special place of mine. One of my very first cities. Can y'all hear? Love with outside of where I'm from.
Yeah, you can hear it.
From New York City. Can you see it? So
no, I can't see anything.
Let's get into it. I'll be damned. You can't. So I was drunk at a. Hold up. You can see. You can hear it, but you can't see it.
That's correct.
Yeah, but we have to hear it though. We don't. Do we need to see it?
Yeah, we don't have to see it.
No, you don't. You don't need to see it, but I mean, you can hear it. I mean. All right, that's fine. And if you can hear it, okay. Well, you don't need to see it then. Let's go. All right, let's put it back on then. If you can hear it. Birthday party in NYC. Oh, let's start it back up. And this girl kept me today. There we go. So let's get to it. Let's get into it. I'll be damned. So I was drunk at a birthday party in NYC, and this girl kept telling me how awesome her friend was, making him sound like a good guy. You know, a great on paper dude. Great job, smart, and I don't know. I was drunk. He showed up much later in a bit of drunken desperation. Drunk self. I threw myself at him, and we became friends. Drunk self managed to give him all my information. Celly, home number, Facebook, email, everything. Damn drunk bitch. Well, that's what she called herself. The next morning, he came back to the city, and I saw him. He was short and round. He's Samwise, the Hobbit. The motherfucker is a Hobbit. I'm screaming no thank you in my head. I am chiseled abs girl. I barely said 2 words to him, thinking things were in there. Wrong. So he called my cell. Ignore. Then he got smart and called my house phone from his house phone a few days later. Where the hell I get all these house phones at? But anyway, he called her house phone from his house phone. I answered assuming I knew the person because sober self doesn't give out my house number. I was wrong. Drunk bitch again. That's what she called herself. We chatted and I finally agreed to meet for drinks. The date was okay. Drunk self was happy during the drinks. He was chatting me up about how he really wanted to plan a real date for me. And all of a sudden he scheduled a date number 2, number dos. Sadly, I already knew he wasn't for me, but I insisted. Here we go with the BS. Date 2 was pretty good. It started with an amazing bottle of wine. Cheese tasting,
More wine at an incredible restaurant with extra wine would ended with dancing and shots of Patron. Wine, cheese, and Patron. I hope you got your cotton soft or angel soft toilet paper. Anyway, back to the story. Randomly, he would make a comment or say something that I completely disagreed with. But I was having fun, so I ignored it. At some point, I stopped making memories, and I was told that I tried to hit on 2 other people while on date number 2. Drunk self was so uninterested in the Hobbit that I even forgot I was on a date. I assumed that I embarrassed myself on date 2, and he would get the hint. Wrong again. He called and invited me to an R. Kelly concert. I was supposed to turn down an R. Kelly concert. I loved old him. Anywho, so I went, but I decided not to drink the whole time. Date 3, sober. I saw him walking up with a stroll in his wobble-like steps and thought, he's actually uglier than a hobbit. How was that possible? We got to our seats, and he asked what I wanted to drink, and I said water. He added, okay, and what else? I casually said nothing. I'm not drinking tonight. His attitude immediately changed, and we had an argument about me not drinking. I was already annoyed and just wanted the date to be over. R. Kelly was great, and I managed not to really talk to the Hobbit for the rest of the concert. After the concert, we arrived in front of his apartment, and he asked me to come up because he wanted to talk. Fuck it. Fine. So I went up. He asked me if I wanted some wine. No thanks. I'm driving home. He went into his bedroom, and while inside, he managed to hit his head and came out cursing with a knot on his dome. I was so amused by the growing lump on his head, I decided to have a glass of wine and entertain the talk he wanted to have with a bag of ice on his forehead. With the best possible swag and arrogance one could have while holding a bag of ice to his head, he began to tell me that we should be together because of who he is and what he has. He could take me here and there and do this for me, basically offering me to be kept woman in so many words. After his rant was over, I politely declined and left relishing in the pleasure seeing that deserved lump already on his head. I'll be damned.
All right, that was that was the segment right there. So how do y'all break that down of what happened what happened through the sequence of him kept trying and she wasn't feeling, but she kept going?
I'm annoyed with her.
I'm very annoyed.
She said it was all Kelly tickets out there she couldn't pass.
Someone just commented and said, I'm not turning down no Kel's concert either. Here's the thing. We wouldn't even gotten to the Kel's concert after the first date. If she was being honest with herself, honestly, maybe she wants to waste time. Maybe meal and having a good time, and she didn't really care. She wanted the attention. That's what it sounds like to me.
Okay. So
yeah.
Before we go to Gabe though, because you're a woman, and before we go to Gabe, because I know Gabe gonna come with it, but she decided to flirt with other cats on date 2 while she was with him.
He's probably cuckold.
Okay.
No further questions.
You got the floor, Gabe.
This chick is for the streets. And let me be emphatically clear here. There's some things I want to say, but I'm gonna respect your platform that I'd say.
No. Hey, this is HBO. Say what you gonna say.
With her little musty ass, she knows better. Ladies, this is why these men don't want to do shit for you. This is why they come across these deplorable, degenerate ass women that do these sick, convoluted things. She done got off on it. And when Now you might give his little ugly ass a chance, but he ain't gonna break bread with you because this woman over here fucking up the game for y'all. So y'all have to start checking chicks that do this. If you don't like the man, you don't go to the R. Kelly concert.
There should be no second date.
That screams poor and broke to me.
Right.
That's what it seems to me. Now, to his little goofy ass, he knows better than what he's doing. He shooting out of his weight class. I don't care how much money he has. You got to know if this woman is attractive and she's built and she's this and she's that, and you over here looking like a little gargoyle. You might be, trying to shoot out your lane. And it was obvious she had no respect for this man. And I don't care how ugly you are, fat you are, short you are, tall you are. You never let a woman disrespect you in your face. And she disrespected him by flirting with the other men. I would have asked her, lady, what is your problem? We would have had a quick discussion and she would have been gone. I would have charged her to the game right then and there. I don't care how fine you are. I will be damned if you're going to disrespect me in my face and flirt with other men. And so they're both wrong here. Right. No, Chi, go ahead. You good, love.
I'm just saying, not all men have that tenacity. Not all men know, to stand up for themselves. And some men like being treated this way. I'm telling you, some men do. Not all men. Not the type of men that I like to associate myself with or my clients. That get off on that type of woman that just runs all over him. Period. Like there's some men that way a woman to treat him that way. It's a thing. I'm telling you. That's why dominatrix people, women is. Like I'm just saying, like the type of man that you're talking about, I won't stand for disrespect. That's a man that I can respect. And there are some women that like that type of man. I'm trying to tell you, I've seen all different types of people, and it's a shame. It is. It's a shame. But yeah, like Gabe said, there shouldn't have been no second, let alone third date. The fact that she wasn't even interested in him after the first time should have told her something, but she was mainly in there to see what she can get. So, yeah, I would agree that she's probably for the streets, respectfully. She's not really dating with intention. She's wasting time. But maybe it's not a waste of time to her because she got a free meal or 3 and some drinks and water, I guess.
For the streets.
Oh, man. Listen, I got my chime. We already passed the mark. Thank you, Miss Chi. Thank you, Mr. Gabe, UBM for coming on. Where can they reach y'all at? Because y'all definitely welcome back, though. You definitely welcome back. But where can they reach y'all at?
Okay, I'll go first. So I'm a certified matchmaker and dating specialist, but I'm not your average matchmaker. I do like to talk about all of the things. So that's just me. If you want to find me on Instagram, you can. N as in Nancy, Y as in Yankee, A as in Apple, Love by Chi, and that's CHI. Same handle on Clubhouse, NYA Love by Chi, and then my website is nyaloveanddating.com. If you are looking for something and you're at a place in your life where you want to date, you're marriage minded and free, please feel free to reach out to me. But you have to be ready for something real. I'm not respectfully. Go ahead, Gabe.
Well, first, thanks for having me on, Rod. This was great. I'll definitely be back. Just say the word. I'll come through. And right. Chi's always good to see you. You look lovely today, by the way, Chi. You really do. Your melanin's popping. Your smile is glowing. You look good over there, Chi. You single, Chi? What's going on? Chi look good. But no, I've been in rooms with her on Clubhouse before. So it's always good to see her. She's so lovely.
Well, she told me that when I told her who was coming on. She said she already been down with you. She said you was dope. I said, oh shit, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I like to speak their mind. Don't hold your tongue for anyone. Life is short. Speak it.
Right.
And that's why we on Amsterdam Talk. Say what the fuck you want to say.
I love it.
Yeah, but I love being on with you. She's dope. But again, my name is Gabe, and I'm the host and creator of the Ultimate Black Men Radio podcast and YouTube channel. I try to bridge the relationship gap between black men and black women. You guys can find me on Instagram at Ultimate Black Man. You can find me on Twitter, Ultimate Black Man. You can find me on Clubhouse, Ultimate Black Man. Yep, Ultimate Black Man. And you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Ultimate Black Man Radio. I also have a website, ultimateblackmanradio.com. You can book a session there. I do one-on-ones, consultations. I also do Instagram audits. Somebody asked about dating profiles and everything. Get your Instagram together because a lot of y'all Instagrams are trash. So I specialize in getting your digital footprint together. So when Chi comes and match makes you and that guy starts to do research on you, your digital footprint is in line, it's in order, and you're not disqualifying yourself from potential suitors because your online presence is raggedy. So listen, my spaces are very tough. I'm very no holds barred, no nonsense. My rooms are not safe spaces, but I want Black people to get their love life together, because if Black people cannot get their love life together as a collective, we can't move forward. We can do all the marching, all the praying, and all the protests we want. If we do not get the relationship dynamics, that's the foundation. If we don't get our relationship and our love life together, we cannot create healthy, loving families, which create thriving communities, which allow us to fight and combat white supremacy. So that's my whole thing. I appreciate you having me on, Rod, and I'll definitely come back again.
Likewise.
All right. Well, hey, you normally know I say I'm gonna go and pay some bills and I'll be back in a week, but I'm working a double header tonight, so I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna go upstairs and wash my face and get myself together. We be back in 5 minutes, and I got some sex workers coming on to talk about the art of the $40.
Let's go.
I'll be back in about 5 to 10 minutes. Amsterdam Talk, sex workers from Massachusetts coming in 5 to 10 minutes.